Welcome everyone. I'm Anushka Rakhe, and on behalf of the Mental Health Unit of Rotaract Club of Caduceus, I welcome everybody. So today's topic is COVID and mental health. So as we all know that COVID has made a negative impact on so many aspects of our life. And today we are going to be addressing how it has affected our mental health. So be it the paranoid feeling that we have when it comes to the COVID disease, and when it comes to our future, we worry so much about it, even more because of the pandemic. So to address all these issues, joining us will be Dr. Aarti Sundaresh. I welcome you, Doctor.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. So Dr. Aarti has done her MD in homeopathy and has got her diploma in psychotherapy and counseling. She has been practicing medicine for the last 25 years and has been a lecturer in the government homeopathy medical college. Her valuable contributions include her paper on the irritable bowel syndrome and on the complications of pregnancy and its relation with homeopathy. Her specialization includes children's mental health and behavioral analysis on school-going children. So I welcome you, Doctor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Anushka. Okay, thank you.
Joining us will also be some students, wonderful students, Ms. Bhumika from Bangalore Dental College and Mr. Karan from KEM College, Mumbai.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we start with the talk show, there's a small game for the student panelists. It's called Related Words. So this would be on today's topic, which is COVID and mental health. So the rules of the game are very simple. I would say one word, and we all will get 1 minute to come up with one word related to the word. So for example, mental health, then Bhumika will be coming up with a word, and so will Karan. And this will go on for 1 minute. So are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the game. Yeah, so we have a timer for 1 minute, and I'll start with the word COVID-19.
Quarantine,
Pandemic,
Stress,
depression,
containment,
self-isolation,
immunocompromised,
antibodies.
Sanitizer.
Yeah.
Then
My chance.
yes,
oxygen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oxygen, lungs,
vaccination,
Mucormycosis.
Black fungus,
yes, Bhumika.
Nobody. Okay.
isolation,
it has been repeated. Isolation has been done.
okay.
So the time is up now. Yeah, I think these words have been on our mind for so long now, ever since the pandemic started. So I guess now it's time to address these words and the issues that have been coming up related to it. So now let's move on to the questionnaire part of our show. And starting with the first question, Doctor, how has COVID-19 impacted the mental health of general public?
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll start my thing. The first of all, the COVID-19. Okay, so I don't want all of you to be in that particular mode. Let us come out of that mode of COVID and let us exactly know first what exactly the mental health, because I would like to give one sentences in that related to the COVID. Is the first is, it's not the absence of mental disorder, as you know, because mental health is basically we see that how we think about anything, or how we feel about anything, or how we behave. That is what the mental health is. Okay. And I would like to quote one more quotation about the mental health is, what mental health need is more sunlight, more candor, and more unshamed conversation. Okay, see, these you just concentrate on these three words I want. Okay. So afterwards, we can just know that how the COVID has given a big impact on the mental health of the patients or the society. Okay. See, what it needs, the mental health is the more sunlight. Okay. Are we able to get the sunlight? Sunlight is there as it is. Okay. But are we really exposed to the sunlight? No, the first thing. The second one is the candor. Candor is nothing but the openness. Okay. Are we into the openness? No. Now today we are not open. Okay. The third one is unshamed conversation. Okay. We are also not into unshamed conversation. Why it happened? What has caused this? Let us study. Okay. Now, see, these are the three factors. We know that these has caused more impact on the COVID. Because of the COVID, the mental health. Okay. So come to the point of the COVID in particular. Okay. First, why the COVID? Why this pandemic, the first wave or the second wave? Okay. What exactly it has caused? The first one is, the first and foremost thing, it was a shock for the each, because the pandemic is not like epidemic diseases. We're all very well aware about the epidemic diseases. We must have, especially since 10 years, actually, we were not so used to this type of even epidemic diseases. Okay. Like you are, I think in this generation, you must have heard about lots of things about the dengue, like chikungunya started. Okay, you must have been now in 2025's range. Okay, when you were almost at 15 years of age, you must have heard about the chikungunya. That was a great epidemic. Okay, after that, some here and there the plague came, and then and afterwards the SARS came, and then H1N1 came, and then again the chikungunya some, and then the dengue. Okay, almost the last was the other than the Ebola. Okay, we could get, but this is the pandemic. See, sometimes we tell that this is 100 years once we do get this pandemic. See, can we say this is fortunate or unfortunate? We don't know. We can't tell this. See, sometimes because this is we can tell that it is a fortunate to see this. Okay. But sometimes also say that it is a very unfortunate to experience this. This was the thing. Okay, so COVID was very much like very unexpected for the whole world. Okay, because as you know, the pandemic. Okay, so how it has affected is because the first and foremost things, the social obligations which we do keep because of this COVID. Okay, the first thing is, what we did is with the mask, wearing the mask. First the thing. Okay, and then we started using the sanitizer. And the third is very important is we did the social distancing. Okay, which we were not able to predict. Okay, that was the main impact which has the COVID caused. Okay, then you come to the other points. Okay, after this is because what it did. See, it reduced the openness. Okay, it reduced the sunlight. Okay, it reduced the unshamed conversation. We were also not ready to open up. Okay, that was a thing. Okay, then the mental health, come to the improper mental health. Okay, what we change. The first one is because of the certain procedures. Okay, which has caused different issues. I think that we will discuss in next this thing. Because see, I told you that how we think, but thinking has changed because of social distancing. That has changed, and the panic which has caused about the disease. Because the disease will be like almost acute, it causing some acute respiratory disorder, sudden acute respiratory disorder. That was the main thing which we used to listen when the pandemic came. So it started. Then slowly, so it has caused the main impact on the societies, what we call as the post-traumatic stress disorder and the post-traumatic, like post-COVID, we can say. Okay, post-COVID stress syndrome, we call. Okay, so this is the main very important impact on the society because of the COVID. Yes, Anushka. Now,
Yes, doctor.
you want to know what is? Yes. Post.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me. Like now,
Yeah, we would just like to hear a short story from our student panelists regarding COVID.
okay.
Yeah, so I had come across a story where this patient named Amitja, she was a resident from Mumbai and was suffering from a mild symptoms of COVID-19. As soon as she was tested positive, the most of her neighbors and relatives started looking at her as some stranger, or they started abandoning her and the family, and they were separated completely. She tells in her story that it's not the virus, it's the anxiety and the solitude which was more problematic for her, and that's what made her condition even worse. Yes, ma'am. So this is what has taken up this is what the COVID-19 has taken on mental health.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. See, this is what she said. No, this is more about. This is what we call as post-COVID symptom syndrome, like post COVID, because we used to stress syndrome. We used to call. Okay, post-traumatic stress syndrome. You must have heard. Okay, this is a very, very, very old terminology. Okay, it is called as post-traumatic stress syndrome. Is old because you must have heard the different assaults which have been, even the social violence, because sometimes suddenly the earthquake happens, or suddenly because of lots of social violence. Even see, you must have heard very long back some golibars and all. Suddenly such sort of assaults. But here, what had happened is, the first thing is the what she told about the when she got the COVID and she got infected. The first thing was related with the social stigma, where she had to go separate. Okay, they will quarantine her. Okay, or she gets isolated. That was the main thing which they had. Actually, there was no much fear of death in first wave when we started. Okay, but this wave we are expecting more of fear of deaths, because what we can see is the post-COVID stress syndrome is more in this. See, most of the time we need to differentiate what that student she told, no, that is the story about it. The first thing, whenever we tell about the two things, that is whether it is just a post-traumatic stress syndrome or the only post-COVID the symptom syndrome. Okay, because see, sometimes we need to differentiate whether the patient was from the beginning, because see, when we see a patient, no, we should see into the two aspects. One is patient as a person and a person as a patient. You got my point? So patient will be a person first time. Okay. Patient as a person and person as a patient. Okay. That's the first thing we need to differentiate, because see, before getting the infection of the COVID, okay, the patient also must have been an anxiety type of patient, like person. Okay. From the beginning, because you must be knowing that different kinds of personalities will be there. Okay, there are different melancholic personalities or anxious personalities, or we can say that they are for hypochondriac personalities. They will be there. Okay, whenever they read the newspaper, they tend to get all these, I must be having this, and all such persons. Okay, from the beginning, whether this particular symptomatology has been changed just because of this COVID infection only, or before also she was having, that we need to differentiate. Okay, so after that, in this particular case, the first and foremost thing is we have to reassure us. That is most important. Actually, she got infected, no, COVID student that she was asking me. Okay, the student which asked, okay, she got infected COVID, right? COVID
Yes,
positive.
yes, COVID
Yes.
positive, man.
And she had, because the two things. One thing is the fear of recovery. More than the fear of recovery, she had the fear of isolation, even after curing also. Because nowadays also we are getting, see, almost this pandemic is 1 year, 3 months over. Okay, till now also the patients are very scared to even come to the clinic or to attend the society only social functions. See, presently we don't have. Even last year we used to see, because see, some patients they got during the September, October and all. Okay, then November it was totally unlocked, and we were having some gatherings in the month of November or December. Okay, that time the patients were not, they were hesitant to attend to the functions because they had the social stigma. Okay, then what we used to do is we used to reassure them, and also we started continuously writing about what exactly the post-COVID patients will give good to the society, because they are having good types of antibodies which can they give to the society. You got my point? So that is what we should do, is we should reassure them. And also see, in this case, especially in case of post-COVID, see, we have the total a complex, like 4 to 5 number of symptoms which we have. Is the first one is fear of contagion, whether the patient has the COVID or not. Like I'm telling you what you told about the patient who has got the COVID symptoms positive. But even though they don't have positive also, what happens with the patients is they have a fear of contagion, because they start coming to the doctor and telling that I've got throat pain. And you examine my chest. You see, nowadays we are not touching. Again, in the second wave, what we is for everything, we need to write them the X-ray or CT scan or blood reports. That is what, because we don't examine them, or we need to directly send to them to the COVID center, and the patients are hesitant to go. Okay, so what is here main is, so we have to reassure them. It's more important that, so what exactly can be done, like before COVID comes, even if COVID comes, so what can be done? And after the COVID, we need to we have to make the other person socially that aware about what exactly the post-COVID symptoms, post-COVID patients will give good to the society, because they give more of antibodies, because that is what we call is herd immunity. Okay, so this is what we can do. And what your patient is, so she is having, first thing is we have to treat her the COVID in particular, okay, with the physical symptoms. That is the first thing, right? And the second one is she has got that anxiety, and also the fear of not only fear, she may start getting isolating herself, even whether the other persons will isolate her or not. Okay, she may get, because I may give disease to some other person or other person who are my loved ones. Because see, nowadays, because of these social medias, actually we tell that, see, this is most of the time nowadays what we call is this stressors we call. Okay, there is a one term called as stressors. Okay, what exactly the stressors are today causing the stress in COVID patients? Okay, the first one is, of course, it is a severe illness which the patient must be having. Okay, because as you know that we have in COVID, it can be a mild COVID or moderate COVID or severe COVID. Okay, if suppose patient is they are suffering with a high severe illness, then it is gone, because they are already suffered with the illness in particular. That is the thing. So second one is hospitalization. See, here it comes the panicity related to the hospitalization, because during the hospital also, when they are when they are hospitalized in the hospital, okay, they may not be having so much of symptoms, but because of the other patients, okay, because nowadays we are listening from the direct rooms, because the inside room, what we are listening is, even though their oxygen is, the saturation is normal, 96, 97 will be there, but the patient is asking for the craving for the oxygen. Okay, where there may be chances of giving the hyperoxygenation. That is because of hypochondriac patients are very important. In such conditions, it is very important that we need to assess the mental condition of the patient, because COVID in situ, in where the COVID has already attacked. But at that time also, we need to assess that patient's mental condition during COVID. The next one is witnessing the death. They may not be having a death, but they may have witnessing the death, because when they are in ICU or may not be in just mild oxygen level. Okay, other maybe. So then the panicity starts, the anxiety starts. Okay, with the patients. And then the loved one, somebody has died. Okay, they must have heard some news like that, it happens. So this is about the stressors and the general stressors. Okay, so we may get the general stressors as socio-economic status, because related to the COVID, because they may have to spend a lot of money, or they have to go with the before getting the COVID. That is, social isolation is also one point. Or afterwards, after getting the COVID, it's like how many days, minimum 1 month, they have to take rest. And we usually tell doctors, no, because we tell them the 14 days for the rest, and again 1 week for their observation. And sometimes if they had to take some more oxygen, or then they have to go with some 1 or 2 months rest. Okay, then also there may be chances of losing their jobs, no? That is also very important. So that is insecurity feeling also supervening. So that also we need to take. And then working ability. So how to rehabilitate them, such things and all will come to their mind. Okay, such fear also we have to give them the counseling and reassurance. And if it is more, as you said, sometimes we need to counsel that patient along with the disease in per se, that is with the COVID. And then after that, okay, post COVID, what are the post COVID symptoms syndrome is persisting in her. Okay, now also she is having that contagion fear, or she may be, no, you don't come here to me because I may spread you, like that. So then we need to exactly train them what exactly it is. That is very much required. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, doctor. That was so informative. Now I would like to ask that how do we support someone who has post-COVID stress syndrome?
Yeah. How do we support? Okay. So as I told you that now I have told you what is their problem mainly. Okay. Once they come from post-COVID, the first and foremost is, I told you that it is not only, see, most of the time what happens is, this what we call is post-convalescent period. See, nowadays we are taking post-COVID. See, we never use that term as post-dengue or post-chikungunya and or like that. Okay, we used only term post-viral arthralgia. We used to use that terminology. Okay. See, post-typhoid, have you heard about it? Post-dengue, we haven't heard about it, right? Have you heard about post-dengue? She had post-dengue, nothing. But nowadays we are getting this post-COVID. Why? No? Because the first and foremost thing, as I told you, that because of the severity of illness. More than severity of illness, one thing is the social impact, okay, which has caused. See, tell you one thing. So today I had one patient, okay, recently they had got COVID. Recently, 3 weeks back, okay, that patient, he had a cancer. Like before that, he is a cancer patient. He was on immunosuppressant drug 1 year back and all. Okay. So after that, he had COVID. Okay. Then they consult doctor. Then that doctor also, that patient also, they talked to me and we gave our medicine also. And continuously, I kept them on counseling along with the medication. Okay. We kept them on counseling. Okay. Nothing is going to happen. His wife, she was not positive. She was negative, but they were only two. The husband was 63 years old and this 58 years old, the wife. Okay. So then today she was telling to me, they have completely cured now. Okay. Now they are coming outside because 21, that patient's wife, she had come to me. She's my old patient. Like she comes to me for regular consultation. She was telling, doctor, why the people are so much scared about the COVID? I did not find anything. The COVID was so easy. Like she was telling, because they didn't find it. Okay. Anything. Because why? No? Because the first thing, see, immediately when the husband started getting that lack of smell, okay, they immediately showed it to the doctor and they tested positive, and immediately they consulted a physician. They consulted me because I'm their regular consultant. Okay, they took other alternative therapies also. They took the allopathy medicine also, and they isolated, took exactly what the food and rest diet required. They took it. Okay, and time to time, like they were checking their temperature, and 5 days they checked it, and oxygen level, everything they were doing. Okay, and doctor also, I was calling them every evening, and they also used to call, or the vice versa. We used to be in communication. Okay, then everything was okay. So why? Because their mental condition was in very good condition. Okay, so they were not having the fear. So this is the main thing. So now what happens with the post-COVID patients, if their suffering is more, for example, you must have seen them in the TV shows, in TV news, this thing. What happens? The patients will roam here and there. Okay, they'll go for the bed. Okay, they go for the oxygen. Okay, then finally, suddenly, we have not heard it from directly. Okay, we have not directly. But what happened? Actually, we used to see them in the newspaper. We used to see more in the social media or in the TV medias, right? Okay, we used to see only such things. We have not seen. See, this is the one very, very important which we tell the TV people, because see, they have to see the show the persons who have already cured. What happened to them? See, for example, such patients which she told me. Okay, it was not like that. We did it everything like that. So like that post-COVID, when the patient comes, you see, for example, if they are suffering, still suffering, okay, the first one is medical support. That is because the medical proper support, because they need to take what extra medicine they have to be taken, or we have to give them the physiotherapy advice. That is also one thing. And see, nowadays, what happens is after the discharge, the doctor will be in so much hurry to send them out, like send them discharge. Especially in COVID patient, our responsibility is not just over after treating. That is what we tell. Okay, it is also after treatment also, it is lots of things are needed. Okay, especially we call that as a rehabilitation. Okay, they have to rehabilitate it in terms of mentally, physically, and socio-economically. And if a student related to education also, we need to that. So what the best we can do is, and also we advise them yoga, meditation. Okay, that is also most important, which we do. And then if the patient's condition is not so good, because sometimes we do see still the patient is in a panic, then what we should tell them that you need to take counseling, one-to-one counseling. That is very much required. Okay, and we are trying to give the mass counseling also nowadays, post-COVID afterwards, like if we know the persons, okay, we are also doing through different this thing. We can have 10 to 12 patients, like post-COVID patients only. Okay, we can give them directly mass counseling. That also can be done. Or what one-to-one, because one-to-one also lots of things will be there. Okay, so like one-to-one means they may be having after coming home. Okay, what kind of different thing will be there? Okay, if you have a question, you ask me. Then okay, let us see.
Okay, yeah, but I would like to pause this session for a minute and request everybody to join the link again as the meeting is about to end. So please join the meeting with the using
also,
the same.
should I join again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is that okay?
Okay, I think we can resume with the session.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask our student panelists and I would like them to share their view on this, on the post-COVID stress syndrome.
Yes, I completely agree with the speaker, ma'am. Like, even I had my own experience. One of my friend was severely ill, and she was having severe COVID symptoms. She was on ventilator for many days, but fortunately she recovered. But when she came back, the problem was she was not getting a sleep properly. She would have all the terrible dreams around it, and then we got it, like she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome. So that was a main problem for her. Somehow she was recovering well, but then again she started experiencing very bad symptom. But through proper counseling and like she started recovering now, ma'am. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah. Very nice. That's what nowadays they are getting back to the normal, like after reassurances, and some medication sometimes may be needed, or sometimes telling them how to correct their daily routines and also food habits. And one thing what we have seen is nowadays, because those people who are having very haphazard lifestyles, okay, they're all coming to the normal lifestyles. Especially this waves, what we are experiencing is like 40 to 45 age group persons, no? So they're all big shots and big businessmen like that. Okay, if they've had that COVID, okay, because of that COVID terror, now they are able to bring back their lifestyles to the normal. Like normal means before, like best, they are following the best routines. They were not following that best routine before that. Okay, now they have learned their life lessons, I think. Okay, so morning getting up early and going for nowadays lockdown, there is no walking, but upstairs we ask them to go for the good this thing oxygen level, because that is most required. And also they started knowing the good importance of meditation, yoga, physical exercises. They do that. And also with the diet also we do tell them, okay, taking the nourishment, that is also very important part. Most of the people, they like forget to ask the doctors, or doctors forget to tell them. So that is thing. And of course the mentally, and the one more thing is I would like to tell is also the sometimes the spirituality also helped many a lot for the post COVID recovery syndromes. Okay, that is also there.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I want to ask that so people who are living with patients who have suffered from COVID, or even for that matter, families of healthcare workers, how do they deal with the anxiety and the worry of being coming in contact with this and taking care of their mental health?
Yeah, correct. See, what happens is with the caretakers, like we have two types of caretaker. One is personal caretaker, that is at the family, because sometimes suppose if this especially in this wave, because first wave, what we used to do, if the COVID positive means immediately sending them to the hospital. They're the like we used to call COVID warriors or COVID health takers. Okay, the first thing also that time, the first how they get separate from their patients is, the first thing is wearing the kit. That is the first thing we assure them. These health workers, okay, we will not get that because you are wearing PPE kit. Okay, so that is the thing. First is we tell them, okay, that is the one thing. Second one is, in the first wave they used to take some medications as like immuno boosters. They used to take some multivitamin supplementation. That time they had supplemented them. Even some HCQ, they at that time they supplemented for the health workers, and also doctors were taking, because in the first wave we were not so much knowing about the treatment part, whatever it is. No? So like that they were taking. That's the thing. The second, see, what happens here is two things. One is about the fear of disease is one thing. The second one is fear of isolation. Even the health workers. See, after
Sorry, ma'am, we can't hear you yet.
sorry, very sorry. There's some internet problem here. Okay.
No worries.
Okay. So I was just explaining about the caretaker, how they, okay. The thing is the PPE, wearing them, okay, then supplying the medications, and the other than the fear of disease contagion, okay, there is the problem with their isolation with the family. Okay, because see, whether this caretaker, maybe doctors or nurses or even any other ayahs, what we used to do is, after the duty hours, they used to quarantine themselves. They were not able to mix with any persons. Okay, they used to stay in separately, because everybody will make them that to feel separated. So what happens is, the first and foremost thing, they may start getting the fear of isolation in the future also, because they may start getting, see, for example, recently married couples, okay, one is a wife is a doctor and husband is an engineer, for example, okay, or husband is a doctor and wife an engineer. Okay, then what happens, the doctor will be knowing what exactly this is, but engineer will not be knowing. But for how many days? Minimum 14 days, 1 month, like that, they have to be in a duty rooms. See, if you're a patient, it is okay, because everybody will accept. But because of the job occupation, they don't accept. No, that is the thing. So there may be a fear of insecure feeling also they may develop. Okay, and anxiety related to their kids. See, you must have seen last year they were showing in the TV. Okay, in the first wave. Because the child was standing at the doorstep, and the wife, the mother, she used to tell bye because they were not allowing them, okay, inside. Okay, then they must be crying like that. So they told the fear of separation, fear of isolation. There was lots of things with that. So that's the anxiety they have, and the fear of getting disease itself is there, and not only getting themselves and spreading to the others, especially with the family members. So they are very much careful. So what we have to tell them is the very important thing. We have to train them in such a way. Okay, not only caretakers, we have to train the, like I'm telling about the COVID warriors, because health caretakers in the hospital I'm telling here. Okay, so what we have to tell them, we have to tell the family members about their great thing what they are doing. We have to go to their houses better, because nowadays we don't go. So what now, we have to take personal interest to call to them and tell them it is not that is not a problem. Okay, she will come back with this, or he will come back after his duty. You need to support, they are doing the great job, like that we have to tell. That is, we have to counsel even the family members. Okay, and then health caretakers, we have to completely train them. We have to give a complete knowledge. We have to give the complete awareness related to the disease. Okay, so when we do that, then they will not be getting the fear of getting infections. That's a thing. Okay, so that is, anxiety can be done, and the fear of getting the disease. But from the beginning, if this particular COVID warrior, from the beginning, see, everybody are not very normal, and because that's what I told you, because what's a mental health, how we feel, how we behave, everything. Because everybody will be having EQ and IQ may be different, right? See, sometimes doctors also, we have seen, okay, their IQ may be very great, okay. But EQ, sometimes what happens, their emotional quotient, because of the nurturing, they may be hypochondriac, or they may be having fear of disease. We have seen in first wave, we have seen the doctors closing their clinics and not seeing the patients at all. Okay, that is there. See, nowadays, how we see is, we see from the 2 meter distance, wearing the mask and the shield. Okay, we are not scared. Okay, and we take the sufficient measures to avoid. Okay, that is the thing. So see, we are also in clinic also, we also become caretaker. We are also like COVID warriors only. We also, but most of the doctors are not seeing, because they themselves are scared. So why no? Because we have to get the correct knowledge and what precautions. If we are correctly knowledgeable, then we don't get scared. There is nothing to be worried about it. And we have to observe it. That is with the health workers. And with the family members, if you take, because nowadays it is with the home isolation. Okay, if the one person gets that, okay, the first thing is with the getting themselves. Sometimes what happens at home, if everybody get infected, that situation is different. Okay, because everybody get, otherwise what? No, the first thing is they start blaming. The first foremost sentence what they tell, they blame others. Because my son used to go to shop, madam, from him it came. Okay, because today I heard it from my patient. Okay, last month she had it seems. So she told me, now I'm fine, because she was taking medicine for some other thing. Ma'am, I too got, madam, last month, but it is because of my son, madam, because he used to go like that. Okay, so sometimes what happens, we have to reassure the patients. Okay, it is not anybody's problem, because here even the family issues will come, because mother-in-laws, they start blaming the daughter-in-laws, or daughter-in-law start blaming mother-in-law. My mother-in-law used to go for walking, from her only it came. My father-in-law used to give. See, like that, even the family issues also come as this particular COVID problem. So that we have to take care. And family is with the diet and food, and giving them the counseling, like whether if the patient is having the much problems. Okay, if he gets hospitalized, that time also we need to take care of the family members, those who are already here, because one is already hospitalized. Because these people also must be thinking whether the patient will come back or not. That is also there, or fear of losing themselves, or that they fear of getting the contagious disease for themselves, or to their dear ones, like that they may be having. So like that, what we have to give is, we have to counsel them. Okay, we have to take the mental status of the each family members, counseling them. That is what we tell even the government whenever they take the patient outside, because in nowadays we are not getting such things in urban areas. Urban area is not a problem, because patients are well aware of. But in rural areas, still today also we are facing the same problem. If suppose one ambulance comes and one person suddenly goes, the first thing is fear of whether the person will come here or not. And also today I heard one more from the patient. Today we danced at home. Why? Because my father-in-law came from the hospital. So we were so happy and we were enjoying. So like that means they have taken it so seriously. If somebody comes inside, means it's a great thing. But I told, it is okay, it's very nice, but all of you should take care of him and also all your family for at least 3 months. That is also there. And as you know that we are having much problem after the caretaker with the related to their work, everything will be there, because work from home also caused lots of problem. Okay, so because one person will be having COVID and the other person, wife, she has to work also here also, and she has to work for the office also, and she has to take care of the children, because nowadays in nuclear family, lots of things. So I told you that is what. So here very broadly, even if you tell that it is a post-traumatic stress disorder or post-COVID, we do tell this, but still I think that it is a SAD. Very broadly we tell it is a SAD. So what is SAD is mainly is the stress and the anxiety and the depression. Because the reactive depression, we try to give them more and more enthusiastic words and enthusiasm life. We have to have more goals like that. We have to assure them with lots of things like related to the physical health, mental health, and as I told that it is related with the yoga, meditation, and physical exercise. We have to tell them the importance of that. That's the main thing we can do. Otherwise, yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is very enlightening. Now, I would like to ask the student panelists if they have anything to share.
Oh yeah, I'm actually as we are students studying in KM, so one of my classmates they don't stay in Mumbai, but they are from like Pune or some side. So our hostels were full, they were occupied with COVID patients. So they had went to take a room outside, like for a rent or as a paying guest. So the people just denied it that they are not going to allow them to stay in the room because they might encounter COVID and might share or transfer it to them. Yes, and they even in some buildings I've heard that for doctors or health related workers, they have just separated the lift. The doctors will only use that lift and other people can use that lift, because they just have separated the doctor and all, because they might transfer COVID and all. Like it's just isolating the professionals and all.
Exactly. Yes.
And it can get it can also hurt our mental health because of that, because they are just, when we are trying to treat them and they are just trying to separate us and all.
Correct. See, that's a question, no? What is your situation? You want to tell exactly what can be done, right? Right. That's such things. What you're telling is this is the problem of the doctors and health workers. They're isolating.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, you mean?
Yeah, and
see, Dr. Karan, right? Okay. Yes.
How to give them a moral support for that, even being a friend and not a family member.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I told you, no? Because here the thing is the problem with the social, like society, and also the persons who is a health worker. Okay, two problems. And I told you that, see, in this particular post-traumatic stress syndrome, it is not only with the COVID patients. Okay, it is with the COVID patient. Okay, it can be with any other persons who are presently having a particular pandemic. Okay, the first one is whether we have to assess their mental status before the COVID also. It is not only with the COVID. Okay, you got my point. See, sometimes the patients, the persons will not be so sensitive. What you're telling is about with the very sensitive persons. If the sensitive person, if you tell, see, you got that, you just don't come to me, you just go out. Some patient, okay, I'll go out. Okay. And some other person, why you tell like that? No, I'm not getting I'm not giving diseases, or I am not contagious, so it will not come. So like that they tell, right? Okay, but because that means their mental status itself is very, very, very sensitive person, right? Here the question is with the sensibility and the sensitivity. What you're telling is with the sensitivity issues and the sensibility issues. See, if the social people are very sensible, okay, they may not tell. They can exactly do the proper arrangement. Like, see, isolation is required. See, what we see here, for example, if tomorrow, if the person from Mumbai comes in your hostel, okay, in your Mumbai comes, okay, so they need to stay. It is not because of any thinking that they may spread, but that is our protocol, no, right? Because we need to take them, or we have to make them to go with the RT-PCR test, and if they are negative, then okay. Otherwise, what we have to keep them for observation. Okay, just for the observation. But how to support them is a question. Okay, how you can do is, for example, there is nothing like that. You don't allow them. Okay, if you have a separation, isolation, you can allow them. You give them moral support. See, you are distancing physically. Okay, but you can give them mental support, right? No, is it just for the sake, just for the observation? You can be there. Nothing like that. We are here. You can give them good food. Okay, you can talk to them. Okay, you can have video calling, right? And then see, for
Yes.
example, even in at home also, that you can do that, right? Why you have to get hurt? See, that is what I told you, that the health workers should be properly trained. Okay, we have to make them very mentally stable, because this is your scenario at presently. So everyone have to do. No, our patients also, they do feel. See, what we used to do is, we used to tell them, pat them. We used to patient, hey, nothing is going to happen. We used to tell, no, you do it, right? It is required for the patients. Because even fever, hey, nothing will happen. Yeah, you will be all right. Doctor, next week I am having exam. Will I be all right? It is not with the COVID. You just imagine with any disease. Okay, right? See, you're a doctor. So what they they expect, it is not only medicine. Okay, they, after going also the turn, doctor, and how can I go next week? They ask you, and right. Then what you do? You used to do that. Nowadays, do we really do that? We don't do. You know, in warrior room, they wear the PPE. The patient feel lots of lack of support from the doctors. You know, nobody will support them. But nowadays, we started with video calling to the patients and giving them support. Different organizations are coming up because doctors are not having the time. That is the thing. And with the COVID warriors, I think they are mentally fit, right? We have to give them that mental fitness. We have to train them in such a way that they will be good. That is not with the COVID warrior. I don't think your friends, if suppose if after the unlock, if they come, you can tell them, you assure them, you watch them, and then you again make them to be with you. Nothing like that. But in flat also, we have to give them proper knowledge. That is very important. You have to do it. We have to go to the year. That is what, after unlocking, see, all voluntary organizations should go, and you should have the like shows. See, what here we are talking is, here those who already know, we are just talking and everything. Okay, we have to give in the mass such things. We have to, through the dramas, we are like short skit shows will be there, no? So like that, we have to give them awareness. Urban people, they don't do. I don't think, Karan, they are not doing such things. Okay, in urban areas, are you facing in your hostel also?
Yeah,
facing in your
actually not.
hostel also?
I stay in Mumbai, but actually
Okay.
my batchmate, they had
Correct,
to
correct.
take a room outside the
Correct.
college, but the
Correct.
person whose room was, he didn't allow. He was like, you may spread COVID
Correct.
and all. Is
Correct.
they won't
Correct.
allow us to do.
Correct. It is not his problem also. Your problem also. His problem also. See, from the beginning, he must be having hypochondriac nature also there. You must have seen, no, see, this time we started with the sanitizing and okay, many of the persons who are having OCDs, they have obsession compulsive disorder to clean, no? They'll be always cleaning. Like that, such things will be there. So that we have to tackle it properly. Whose problem, whether it is the person who was infected with the COVID or came from outside, or some persons, see, even after getting COVID, everything negative, and after isolation, sometimes, no, you don't come here, you stay. That is his problem, not this person's problem. You got my point. It is not your problem, your friend's
Yes.
problem. He has to be tackled. He has to be reassured. He has to be counseled. Okay. That has to be taken care of. That is most important. That is not with the COVID patients who have already infected. Okay. The other persons who is doing all that, he needs some medication. That is important.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we all must be very kind to each other in these times, because it is
Yeah,
difficult for everybody. So yeah, on this note, I would like to end today's talk show, and I would ask the student panelists if they have any other questions for Dr. Aarti.
I had one question. Ma'am, what is the right time for a person to go and take a psychiatric counseling? Like, what is a proper symptom and what is the right time?
Okay. See, that is what, no, it is what I said is, in the COVID, it is not that everybody will get mental imbalance or they get a mental health disorder or there is a disturbance in the mind. Okay, need not be. As I told you that, see, in this post-COVID syndrome, what we have to do is very important is, I told you the symptom complex. Okay, the fear of contagious disease or whatever it is, they had it. Whether this type of mental status, whether they had it before COVID also, it is very important. Okay, first thing. Okay, but we do get from the patient's relatives. No, patient was not like that before, ma'am. He was very all right. Nowadays, he started with after getting the fear, like immediately after coming home. Okay, he may start again washing because he may be getting the fear that, see, nowadays it's mainly a problem with the mucormycosis because of fungal infections and all. They may start, they may visit doctors often. That is a thing. Okay, we have to see that whether he continuously goes and checks and whatever his eyes, or he already again he started with washing, such things that we have to see. Okay, that is the OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorder. Or checking the pulse also, I mean oxygen level, always checking the oxygen level, or asking for the blood test. Or we do get the patients who are always innu lung sali, because sometimes what happens, see, this kind of patients, what we are saying is patients without having much symptoms during that time, if the not after the hospitalization, the positive comes, okay, within 2 days it goes. But nowadays we are getting the rumor in the media that, see, it is not that sometimes they become positive and afterwards within 2 days they get, after 1 week or 2 weeks, suddenly in lungs it starts. So patient, what they start getting, so breathing problems, sighing, then they start getting, okay, such things. Actually, even ruling everything, like we have to rule lots of things. I told you that the physical screening is lots of required. We can't deny that. We are thinking that just mental, okay, because we have to rule out thyroid, we have to rule out again the diabetic variation. Like physical, we have to rule out. After ruling out everything, okay, because as you know that immediately after coming from hospital, we tell them like after 1 week they have to go with a routine blood test. Okay, after coming routine blood test, okay, after 1 week you can take maximum 1 month from the day of infection. Okay, after 1 month also, like coming to the everly normal, and he is not able to take his routine work. One thing. The second one is not in his mood like before how he was. See, we can't say that from the beginning the patient used to be very normal mood, like very not very elevating type of person. Okay, very normal. Such things we can't expect him very enthusiastic like that. Such kinds, then you can just go and meet first counselor, then to the psychiatrist. Okay, so then because psychiatrist we usually before the counseling is very much required. Afterwards support is required. So you can go to the counseling, need not go to directly psychiatrist, go to the counselor. First, family members can counsel him or your family doctor will counsel. Otherwise, you can direct go to the counselor. Then psychiatrist means medicinal support. 1 month, because we have to see fear. Okay, extraordinary fear. Okay, extraordinary anxiety. Or as you tell that, as you told that panic anxieties, in between panic attacks we tell, flight or fright syndrome we tell, suddenly getting up. Because it depends on how many days he suffered with the COVID, or he must have seen some witnessed some deaths or his relatives like that. So 1 month they can just go to the family doctor first. We usually would suggest is first go to the family doctors first thing, because family doctor is the person who assess you very perfectly whether this person, that is what I told you the first thing is person as a patient and patient as a person is very important. Okay, each doctor we do tell, okay, that we should know it is not just the patient, how the person was. That is what the importance of the family doctor. The first go to the family doctor, and if he's finding more, yes, this person, then go to the counselor. Okay, tell your problems, then to the psychiatrist. That is all.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you for the
so
question,
much.
Bhumika. And on this note, I thank Dr. Aarti for taking out time from her busy schedule. And I also thank the panelists for joining us and everybody watching the show. And thank you so much. Let's hope that the pandemic doesn't take a mental health toll on our mental health and even our physical health anymore.
Okay, hope I've reached your points, right, Anushka? Okay, whatever the things you wanted, like the students are satisfied. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
take
you,
care.
ma'am.
Okay, stay blessed. Okay, ma'am. Bye. Sure, kind. Okay, then bye. Okay, God bless you. Bye.